We ran a campaign that was built on ideas, positive things about tomorrow, things that will work for our children and our grandchildren.
Republican Reed Ribble defeated incumbent Steve Kagan in the race for the 8th Congressional District. And joining me live here in the studio is Reed Ribble, Congressman-elect, and thank you so much for joining us.
Pete, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Did you have any sleep?
Not much. I got a couple hours, but I didn't sleep a lot last night.
Now, you are going into a situation where we're talking a lot about the Republicans gaining control of the House, still not gaining control of the Senate. How do you think this is going to work? Some folks are saying there might be some gridlock. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there's probably going to be some gridlock, and I don't know that gridlock is necessarily bad if we look at it in its historical context. When Bill Clinton had a very successful presidency because he had that check and balance that the founders intended by having a Republican Congress. And so now what's happened is the voters have said, you know what, we want a more contemplative, thoughtful Congress and administration, and they put the check and balance back into government last night.
Now, the House Majority Leader, soon to be House Leader, John Boehner, I'm assuming, we're all assuming, has come out today. He says the voters had a mandate to roll back President Obama's health care overhaul law. Do you think that's true?
You know, it's hard to say. I can tell you that I heard it a lot when I was on the campaign, whether it was in the primary or the general election. I heard from thousands and thousands of people that they wanted it rolled back, either repaired or repealed. That was a very common theme from the electorate as I campaigned.
Is that something you're going to work on?
Well, I think that I'm a bit of a pragmatist, and I realize that getting a repeal without the ability to override a veto in the Senate is probably not likely. If a repeal vote came up, I think I would vote for a repeal because I think the policy was bad for America. But on the other hand, I think the better approach would be to work with the president and the Democrats to repair it, to actually get things into that bill that would help drive costs down. Listen, health care reform was needed. I just didn't think we needed to have the government that involved in it.
One of the spots that ran against you, your opponent ran against you, was Social Security.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about that? Was that a fair portrayal?
Oh, it was completely inaccurate. It was pretty much a straight-up lie. I mean, most of the media saw it. Post-Crescent called it shameful. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel called it a pants-on-fire lie. My position on Social Security is, listen, the administration itself, Social Security Administration itself, says the program's in trouble. Why wait till 2019 when it goes upside down, or 2037 when we've got a real crisis? Let's begin to repair it now. And I believe that if we can put some adults in the room that will stop politicizing it, stop demagoguing it, and say, here's our objective. We need to protect seniors because they've lived their lives based on a promise, but we also need to protect my 4-year-old grandchild. And if we go with those objectives, we can find a pathway to making sure that both constituencies are protected in Social Security.
You're talking about cooperation here, and we hear that a lot, but we also, and I hear it from everybody, many of the people that I deal with, is there's too much yelling, there's too much negativity. Do you think that will subside?
It's only going to subside if the people that go there are willing to do it, you know, and for me, I've campaigned on that whole idea. Is that, listen, we need to have an adult conversation with each other. Whether you're coming from a left side of things or the right side of things, if you're liberal or conservative, we can at least treat each other with respect. We can listen to each other, and we can try to find the best pathway that's best for the large majority of Americans, and we can do that if we're willing to listen.
Have you had any thought, Reed, about what committees you'd like to be on? You know,
I look at it from two perspectives. I feel that you first look at your district and say, what are the most immediate needs of the district? And then you look at your own repurposing of skills. You know, as a business guy, obviously being involved in budget, ways and means, finance types of things would be good for me for a repurposing standpoint. But when I look at the district, I look at agriculture, I look at transportation as key issues that are facing the state. If we want to get jobs up here in northeast Wisconsin, how we move product about the country really matters. And let's face it, it's hard to ship product from here because Lake Michigan's in our way. And so transportation issues matter.
All right. Well, Reed, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations once again.
Thanks,
on
Pete.
The victory. And time to move to Washington, I guess.
I guess so. Thank you much.